Hello, Cowboys Nation, and welcome back to the channel. Buckle up, because we've got some absolutely jaw-dropping, earth-shattering breaking news coming straight out of Dallas that's going to leave every single one of you stunned. This is not a drill, folks. This is the kind of news that sends shockwaves through the NFL, shakes the very foundation of the fan base, and has everyone from casual viewers to die-hard Cowboys supporters asking, what in the world just happened? The Dallas Cowboys, one of the most storied franchises in all of sports, have just dropped a bombshell that nobody saw coming. Javonte Williams, the powerhouse running back, who is expected to be a cornerstone of the team's revamped high-octane offense for the 2025 season, is officially OUT of Dallas. Yes, you heard that right. Javonte Williams, the bruising, dynamic runner who was supposed to carry the load and redefine the Cowboys' ground game, is no longer with the team. This move is sending ripples across the league, and the implications are absolutely massive. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep into this unfolding saga. What happened, why it happened, and what it means for the future America's team. Let's start by setting the stage, because to fully grasp the magnitude of this news, we need to take a step back and understand the context. Javonte Williams wasn't just any player who rolled into Dallas with a contract and some hype. This was a guy who came with sky-high expectations, a running back who had the potential to change the entire complexion of the Cowboys' offense. When the Cowboys front office, led by the one and only Jerry Jones, brought Williams into the fold, it wasn't just a signing, it was a statement. They saw him as the missing piece, a tough physical runner who could complement the existing offensive weapons, take the pressure off quarterback Dak Prescott, and become a go-to guy in critical situations like short yardage plays and red zone opportunities. Coming off a couple of injury-riddled seasons in Denver, Williams was hungry to prove himself, and Dallas seemed like the perfect stage for a career resurgence. The fan base was buzzing with excitement. Analysts were raving about the potential, and training camp reports painted a picture of a rejuvenated, explosive player ready to dominate every Sunday. Social media was ablaze with highlight reels of Williams bulldozing defenders, and the hype train was in full motion. This was supposed to be the year that the Cowboys' run game, which had been lackluster in recent seasons, finally got back to its smash-mouth roots. But now, in the blink of an eye, that dream is over. Javonte Williams and the Cowboys have mutually agreed to part ways, and the news has hit like a thunderbolt. So, what exactly went wrong? How did we go from all this promise and potential to a sudden, shocking departure? The details are still emerging, and as you'd expect, the rumor mill is working overtime. Sources close to the situation are pointing to a perfect storm of issues, contract complications, playbook alignment challenges, and a surprising shift in the coaching staff's vision for the backfield. Let's break it down. First, on the contract front, it seems there was some serious friction behind the scenes. Williams' representatives were reportedly pushing for specific performance incentives and long-term guarantees that the Cowboys' front office wasn't entirely comfortable with. Jerry Jones and company have always been strategic about how they structure contracts, and while they saw Williams as a valuable addition, they weren't ready to commit to the kind of deal his camp was looking for. This wasn't just about money, it was about the future, and the Cowboys were hesitant to lock themselves into a contract that might not align with their long-term plans. Then there's the issue of playbook fit. When Williams was signed, the expectation was that he'd slide seamlessly into Mike McCarthy's offensive scheme, a system that was supposed to blend power and finesse to keep defenses guessing. But as training camp progressed, there were growing whispers that things weren't clicking as smoothly as hoped. Williams, known for his bruising, between-the-tackle style, thrives in a system that leans on physicality and pounding the rock. However, it seems the Cowboys' new offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, had started to lean toward a more versatile, speed-oriented backfield that prioritizes quickness and explosiveness over raw power. This shift in philosophy didn't align perfectly with Williams' skill set, and while his talent was never in question, the coaching staff began to wonder if he was the right fit for their evolving game plan. It's the kind of thing that happens in the NFL all the time. Sometimes a player's strengths just don't mesh with the system, no matter how talented they are. Adding to the complexity, the Cowboys have been quietly impressed with some of their younger running backs, guys like Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn, who have been turning heads in minicamp and early practices. These players bring a different dynamic to the table: speed, agility, and the ability to catch passes out of the backfield. Dowdle, in particular, has shown flashes of being a three-down back, while Vaughn's elusive, shifty running style has drawn comparisons to some of the league's most dynamic playmakers. The coaching staff started to see these younger, cheaper options as viable alternatives, and that confidence likely played a role in the decision to part ways with Williams. It's a classic case of a team betting on its depth and potential rather than sticking with a high-profile name, but it's a risky move, especially when you're talking about a player with Williams' pedigree. Now, let's talk about the human side of this story, because this isn't just about X's and O's or contract disputes. It's about a player who came to Dallas with big dreams and a chip on his shoulder. Javonte Williams had something to prove after his time in Denver, where injuries derailed what was shaping up to be a breakout career. The Cowboys gave him a fresh start, a chance to show the world he was still one of the best running backs in the game. You could feel the energy in his early interviews. He talked about his love for the game, his gratitude for the opportunity, and his determination to make an impact. Fans ate it up, and for a while it felt like Williams was going to be the heart and soul of this offense. But the NFL is a brutal business, and sometimes even the best laid plans fall apart. When the news broke, Williams took to social media with a classy, heartfelt post, thanking his teammates, coaches, and the Cowboys organization for the opportunity. He didn't point fingers or air dirty laundry. He simply said he was ready for the next chapter and wished everyone in Dallas the best. For Cowboys fans, this news feels like a punch to the gut. Javonte Williams wasn't just a player, he was a symbol of the team's commitment to getting back to its roots, to playing the kind of physical, dominant football that defined the Cowboys in their glory days. The vision was clear: pair Williams' thunder with a committee of backs who could provide the lightning, control the clock, and open up the play-action game for Dak Prescott. Last season, the Cowboys' run game was a weak point, often leaving the offense one-dimensional and predictable. Williams was supposed to change that, to give Dallas the kind of balanced attack that could compete with the NFL's elite. Now, with him gone, the entire offensive identity is in question. What does this mean for Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer? How do they rebuild a ground game that was already a work in progress? And most importantly, who steps up to fill the void? Let's dive into the ripple effects of this move, because this isn't just about one player leaving, it's about the entire trajectory of the 2025 season. The Cowboys' offense was built around the idea of versatility, with a quarterback in Dak Prescott who can make every throw, a receiving core led by CeeDee Lamb that can stretch the field, and a running game that was supposed to keep defenses honest. Williams was a key part of that equation, a player who could grind out tough yards and wear down opponents over 4 quarters. Without him, the pressure is on the rest of the roster to step up. Rico Dowdle, who's been a bit of an under-the-radar gem, now has a golden opportunity to prove he can be the lead back. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but he's never been asked to carry the load for a full season. Deuce Vaughn, meanwhile, is a fan favorite with his electrifying speed and playmaking ability. But at 5'5" and 180 pounds, he's not exactly built for the kind of physical role Williams was expected to fill. There's also the possibility of undrafted rookies or practice squad players stepping up, but that's a big ask for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. For Jerry Jones and the front office, this move adds another layer of complexity to an already turbulent offseason. The Cowboys have made some bold decisions in recent months, from restructuring contracts to letting go of key players like Tony Pollard. They've also passed on opportunities to make big splashes in free agency, opting instead to build through the draft and develop younger talent. But losing a player like Javonte Williams before he even gets a chance to make an impact feels like a step backward to many fans. Social media is already buzzing with reactions, and while some are willing to give the front office the benefit of the doubt, others are calling for more transparency and accountability. Jerry Jones has always played the long game, and he's never been afraid to make tough decisions, but with the fan base growing increasingly frustrated, the pressure is on to deliver results. The Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since 1995, and every move, good or bad, gets magnified under the bright lights of Dallas. Now, let's shift gears and talk about what this means for Javonte Williams himself. At just 25 years old, he's still got plenty of football left in him, and despite his injury history, he's widely regarded as a high-upside talent with the potential to make a significant impact. His time in Dallas may have ended abruptly, but his NFL journey is far from over. Already, rumors are swirling about potential landing spots. The Baltimore Ravens, who love to pound the rock with a physical ground game, could be a perfect fit. The New England Patriots, who are rebuilding their offense under new leadership, have also been mentioned as a team that could use a back like Williams to round out their rotation. His agents are reportedly fielding calls from multiple teams, and given his experience and skill set, it's likely he'll find a new home sooner rather than later. For Williams, this is a chance to start fresh, to find a system that suits his strengths and allows him to showcase the talent that made him a star in the first place. As we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this move is a stark reminder of just how unpredictable the NFL can be. 1 minute, you're the centerpiece of a team's off-season plans. The next, you're packing your bags and looking for a new opportunity. For the Cowboys, this is a moment of transition, a chance to redefine their identity and prove they can adapt on the fly. For fans, it's a roller coaster of emotions, shock, disappointment, and maybe even a little bit of excitement about what comes next. The 2025 season was already shaping up to be a pivotal one for Dallas, with high expectations and a talented roster ready to make a run. Now, with this unexpected twist, the stakes are even higher. The backfield is a question mark, the coaching staff is under pressure, and the front office is on the hot seat. But if there's one thing Cowboys Nation knows, it's that the story is never over until the final whistle blows. So, what's next? Training camp and the preseason will be absolutely critical. Every carry, every snap, every decision will be magnified as the Cowboys figure out who can step up and fill the void left by Williams. Will Rico Dowdle emerge as a true RB1? Can Deuce Vaughn handle a bigger role? Or will Jerry Jones pull a rabbit out of his hat and bring in a new face to shake things up? One thing's for sure, this move has made the road ahead a lot more uncertain, but it's also made it a lot more interesting. The NFL is a league of surprises, and this is just the latest chapter in a saga that's still being written. Cowboys fans, you know we'll be here every step of the way, bringing you the latest updates, analysis, and reactions as this story unfolds. So, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments. What do you think about Javonte Williams' departure? Who should the Cowboys turn to next? And how do you see this season playing out? Drop your thoughts below, and as always, let's go Cowboys!